Everyone, today we're looking at one of Paul's arguments about what the resurrection means for us. In fact, Christ has been raised from the dead, the first fruits of those who have died. For since death came through a human being, the resurrection of the dead also has come through a human being. For as all die in Adam, all will be made alive in Christ. This is an idea we talked a lot about last week of, okay, so we believe in the resurrection. What difference does that make for us right now? And complicating this even more is, even for Paul, Jewish people already believed that God would one day raise everyone from the dead, right? That's where the story was going. If God created us in love in the beginning, God will continue to care for creation even into the end. So again, okay, he raised Jesus, but what does that mean? And so in his understanding, it's this idea that if that's what God is doing in the end, in Christ, that timetable kind of gets bumped up, right? It's happening now instead of at the end. It's not that the resurrection is something he couldn't conceive of. It's the timing that's surprising. And so he uses this metaphor that I think is really helpful for us, that it's Christ's resurrection is the first fruits, right? It's a agricultural kind of image. The idea that, this time of year, you see those first crops coming up in your field. And you don't look at that and say, okay, well, I guess I'm getting, 1 or 2 ears of corn this year. You're saying, okay, I see this one, that gives me hope, and it's a promise that more is coming, that things are growing. And so that's what the resurrection of Christ is for us. It's this one moment in time that we can look to say we know that God is bringing more in the future. But it's not just a then and later kind of thing. It's a way of seeing that if God was at work in Christ at that point, God is working even now through Christ, who is still alive, who is still raised. And so until that day that we hope for, there is still a new power at work. That power of death that came through Adam, that is being defeated. And so even now, all of us, all humanity seems to be saying, are experiencing a new kind of life until we see that day when death is completely defeated and there is nothing but life that remains for all.